Hello, and welcome to ClinData Insights presentation on how to find the best MDR solution for your organization. ClinData Insight is a biometrics consulting firm based in the San Francisco Bay Area, specializing in biostatistics, statistical programming, CDISC implementation, big data for life science, and talent solutions. In today's presentation, Kevin Lee will go over how to find the best MDR solution for your organization. I'd like to start off by introducing Kevin. Kevin Lee is the Director of Data Science at ClinData Insight. Kevin has helped many organizations to implement, manage, and govern CDISC standards using Metadata Repository, or MDR, solution. Kevin has also helped CDISC share teams to build CDISC standards using Share MDR solution. Kevin has 10 years of CDISC experience and has given more than 20 presentations on CDISC, including 5 MDR presentations. With that, I would like to hand the presentation over to Kevin. Kevin, you should be receiving control of the presentation now.
Okay. Thanks, Marlene. One of the joy that we could enjoy in our life is actually working with great people. Marlene just talked today, is kind and professional and such a great teammate, and she provides a tremendous help in this webinar preparations. And I just want to take this time to thank Marlene for all the help on preparing this webinar.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to our talk today. Our talk is mainly focused on 2 main processes. One is MDR selection process, and another one is MDR implementation process. In MDR selection process, we're going to talk about how to define business objectives of MDR solutions and proof of a concept, and evaluation MDR solutions, and final selections. In MDR implementation process, we're going to talk about system development lifecycle and how to integrate MDR solution with other in-house systems. And the last, but not the least, is change management. Actually, about 2 years ago, one of our cars got total loss. So we went through car selection process. So first thing that we asked to ourselves is our current situation. We have 2 young children, and my wife stay home, but drive our children to all the places, and I go to work. So the first question we asked ourselves is, do we need another car, or can we leave just one vehicle? And we don't. So next question is, why do we need it? And what features do we need it? And what can you afford? And who are the main drivers? And who are the main passengers? So based on our selections and choices, we actually test drive our car in dealers. And then after research and test driving, we finally select our car. MDR selection process is very similar to car buying process. We have to know what we want from MDR by defining objectives of MDR solutions and test driving just like proof of a concept and evaluate our choices and make a final decisions. I have 2 young children, and the question that they ask the most is why. And actually, they're right. The most basic, fundamental, and important question is why. So let's ask ourselves, why do we need an MDR? In other words, what we'll do with MDR and what we want from MDR. Probably the most important reason for MDR could be regulatory compliances. MDR could keep track of standards that are being used in each study level, such as STTM, ADAM, and control terminology versions. And we can also create define.xml from MDR or review guides such as SDRG and ADRG. Another business objective of MDR could be stored and manage industry standards such as CDISC, control terminology, WHO-DRUG, and MedDRA. And we can also develop and store company standards such as business rules, algorithms, extensible code in control terminologies. We could store individual industry standards and company standards separately, but we could also combine those two standards together. And one of the hardest things about that standard management is version control. So using MDR, we could keep version control on company standards and industry standards. We could do separately or combine those two standards together, make a new versions. The most unique feature of MDR is the governance on standards. Through governance, MDR could help the standard actually stay as a standard across organizations. Any standard request or modification of current standards only perform in MDR, so all the standards will be developed, modified, managed in MDR system. So all the standard in the company could stay as a standard. So MDR could be used to define roles and responsibilities of the people, such as requesters, developers, and validators, and also used to define the process of workflow of new standard requests or the change request. The objective of MDR could not only store the global standards, but also creating study-level metadata. In this example, the global library standards contain the metadata for protocol, CDASH, STTM, ADAM, and TFL. So study 001 could obtain the metadata from protocol, CDASH, STTM, ADAM, and TFL. And this study metadata in MDR could be extracted and used to create study-level clinical trial artifacts, such as metadata in protocol could create protocol in study 001, and CDASH metadata in study 001 MDR could create EDC database systems and case reform. So eventually, using MDR metadata, the organization could achieve end-to-end clinical trial artifact development. Since MDR could link all the data points from protocol to analysis that we showed in previous slide, once we select the metadata in protocol, all other metadata could be automatically created. For example, in oncology study, there are 3 different response criteria, such as RECIST 1.1 for solid tumor, CHESM 2007 for lymphoma, and IWC-LL 2008 for chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And each response criteria will lead to different data collections and analysis. So For lymphoma study, we select the CHESN 2007 in protocol that lead to tumor measurement, bone marrow assessment, spleen and liver enlargement, and response in the collections, or C-dash. That also lead to TR, TU, LB, FA, PE, RS, STTM domain. Then also that lead to progression-free survival, time to event ADAM dataset. That using that we could actually doing the progression-free survival, time to event analysis report. So using MDR, these all metadata from protocol to analysis will be linked and could be done automatically rather than manually. That actually saves organization a lot of time, a lot of resource to do their clinical trial studies. Other objectives could be define.xml and API. We believe that API is a very important tool of MDR because using API, MDR could lead to other clinical trial development process automatically. And also output format in terms of PDF, XML, and Excel output. And also another feature that MDR should be considered is the system stability. As you know that if you combine industry and company standards and also operational data in MDR, we could actually have a big data, huge data. So in order to MDR operate properly, then the system you should be able to handle all those data. And interactive UI could actually make user easy, so they could use MDR more effectively. And the report, such as KPI report, for example, how many standards are being developed, and how many standards are being reported or requested or last month, and how long actually does it take to develop or change. So there is a saying that if you cannot measure, then you cannot improve. So using the report in MDR, you'll be able to reflect and continue to improve the clinical trial process. So proof of concept is just like test driving the new car. Let us imagine that you are sitting on the driver's seat and testing whether all the features are working, such as power window, air conditioning, video and audio, and so on. And now you're on the road and driving the car, and basically you get a feel for the vehicle, you get a sense about the vehicle. Proof of a concept is very similar to test driving. During the POC, you're able to compare all your business objectives with MDR feature that your MDR solution could provide. And most importantly, you could feel for the product and the people that you'll be working with. After POC, we also need to evaluate the couple choices MDR. Let's say we have about 10 business objectives or 10 MDR features that we want to have in MDR solutions. Maybe MDR solution 1 has 2 features, MDR 2 has 5, MDR 3 has 3 of the feature of your project objectives. And there are also some priority objectives, and some MDR might have it, some MDR might not have it. And also you have to consider about expertise level. MDR technology expertise and business domain knowledge such as CDISC, clinical trial artifact development, and also clinical trial process, and also drug development process. And then whether that MDR solution is able to integrate with the other systems. And also what kind of service that you're going to get using the MDR. And another evaluation is going to be how much that costs and how much value does it bring to in our organizations. So basically, it will be the return of the investment. So once we decide on MDR solution, we need to implement in MDR in our system and also in our process. So let's kind of talk about a couple of the process we're going to do. We could use system development lifecycle for MDR implementation, defining user requirement or functional requirement, and design and develop the systems, and testing and also deployment. We show the waterfall process here in this slide, but we strongly recommend the agile approach. For example, rather than implementing all STTM domains, we could implement DM domain first and then see how the system is able to process, and then move on to next domain and so on. We also believe that potential of MDR is coming from its integration with other systems. MDR could import and feed study-level metadata to other systems such as EDC, SAS, eProtocol, and master data management system. So MDR could get the study-level metadata from CDShare. CDShare also have pilot API, REST API pilot projects, so it will be available probably sometime soon. So using those global metadata, MDR could create study-level metadata and feed those study-level metadata to other systems, such as SAS, eProtocol, and EDC, so that those systems could create clinical trial artifacts, such as STTM, ADAM, and TFL. One of the most difficult parts of MDR implementations is not technology. It is change management. According to statistics, about 70% of all changes initiatives fail because of negative employee attitude and unproductive management behaviors. So most people do not want to change. I mean, most of programmers or statisticians or standard team might be happy with Excel spreadsheet rather than MDR systems. So how can you succeed in MDR implementation process? First, we need to create a shared business objectives from both leadership and users. So all the stakeholders need to participate and create the same objectives. And we should communicate MDR implementation plan early and also engage all the stakeholders early, which means that most stakeholders should be engaged in MDR selections process, not at the implementation process. And also support the team by providing training, resource, and time. I mean, could you imagine that your manager told you all the deliverables should be done as scheduled, And you also have to support and spend about 10 hours per week for MDR support. How many people will be happy about that? We should provide proper trainings, resource, and time for the successful MDR implementations. Yeah, actually our family select the van mainly because it fit the most of our family objectives, such as family vehicle, safety, comfortable, affordability, but most importantly because my wife and kids love this vehicle. So basically it was their choice and their selections. Well, even though I'm paying the money. So the amazing thing happened. My kid and my wife love our car so much, so they make our car Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer in every Christmas. They love it, so they play with it, and they decorate it because they are engaged in car buying process, and it was their choice. What if our team are engaged in MDR selection process and it was their choice? If our team loves MDR solutions, can we imagine that what they will do with our MDR? Well, thank you for participating in our talk today. And then I had handed over to Marlene. Marlene?
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the very informative presentation. And thank you for viewing this presentation. You can find more videos like this one on our YouTube channel, Clean Data Insights. You can log on, like us, or subscribe to our channel to find more. Also up is our contact information. Feel free to reach out to us and drop us a message if you have any questions or if you would like to reach out and engage us in helping you find your MDR solution. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.